Hey guys, welcome back. Today we discuss The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 4, Chapter 12, The Siege. The episode opens with a shot of the Razor Crest. It's in better shape than before, but still having some electrical issues. For some reason, Mando tries using the child to fix the wiring because I guess his small size and stature? And he is so cute and patient with him as he tries to explain what he needs him to do. The child is incredibly adorable as he tries his best to help, but he's a baby, far too young to know what exactly he's doing, and he electrocutes himself, of course, prompting Mando to suggest they return to Navarro for proper repairs. But before that, there is this cute little scene where he and the baby are eating, and the child seems curious as pretty much anyone about what's under that helmet. He tilts his little head and his little ears to try to see, but he can't. It was still a really cute, super freaking cute scene. Next, Gina Carano is back as Cardoon, reminding us of her top-notch weapons and hand-to-hand combat skills. We get to see what she's been up to, in this case, recovering stolen goods from a literal den of thieves. And we get to see a bit of her compassionate side as she feeds a helpless creature that before she arrived was nearly a meal himself. The Razor Crest lands, and we get an up-close look at how completely trashed it is right now. Barely bound together with a hodgepodge of parts that we saw flying off in the last episode. Mando somehow manages to land on the planet, and he's greeted by friends Cara and Greef Karga. Karga is portrayed by Carl Weathers, who also directed this episode, and if I must say, he did a fantastic job. Just let him direct all of them. I mean, why not? Anyway, we learn that Cara is the marshal here now, and Greef is a magistrate, sort of like a mayor. There's a school and everything, which is where Greef drops Baby Yoda off while the adults go off to discuss other business. Mando's reluctant to leave him at first, but the child settles in fine, even managing to force snag some cookies from another classmate who refused to share. Next, we run into Mithril, one of Mando's former bounties, now working off a debt on Navarro. Since it is going to take some time for Mando's ship to be repaired, Dune and Karga ask for his help to decommission an old Imperial base. Now, the base is located out in the lava flats, and conveniently happens to be running on a skeleton crew. The mission is to overload the base reactor and blow it to smithereens. This would leave Navarro safe, both from the Imperials and any black market scavengers who might attack the base and acquire the weapons there. Inside, we discover more Imperial officers than they anticipated. A terrified Mithril is tasked with triggering the overload process, which for some reason requires him to operate the controls, which are for some reason suspended over the lava pit. Why? Anyway, the team then has only minutes to escape, but as they're headed out, they're distracted by suspicious looking lab techs and equipment holding what appear to be clones. They also find a 3-day-old recording of Dr. Pershing informing a supposedly dead Moff Gideon, now they know he's alive, on the progress of his experiment, and how, if they're to continue, they'll need further access to the donor, aka the child, a creature with a high enough midichlorian count for a successful transfusion, revealing what the Imperials are up to and why they're after the child. Of course, this panics Mando, and in a rush to go and get the child, he jetpacks away. Greef, Cara, and Mithril have to fight their way out, hijacking an Imperial vehicle and flying out of the facility. They're pursued by stormtroopers on speeder bikes, which was that exciting chase scene that we saw in the trailer. This was a truly awesome set piece. My favorite scene, not only in the trailer, but probably what I consider the best action sequence in this entire series so far. As the base is destroyed, we also see the Imperials launch the TIE fighters and engage in a chase nearly as epic and close as the one with the X-Wings. It's down to the wire when Mando swoops in to save the day in his newly repaired Razor Crest. We really get to see what this machine is capable of, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Although, it did prove a bit too much of a roller coaster ride for the snacking child. In the end, Mando and Greef call it even for the repairs, and Mando continues on his way. The final scenes are twofold. The first shows the New Republic guys arriving and investigating what went on with the explosion. Of course, Greef and Cara have nothing to share with them, and we're left with the tease about Cara's future. She's invited to join the cause, much to the chagrin of those calling for her to be fired. But she claims she's not much of a joiner. Still, you can tell she's considering it as she's reminded of everyone she's lost. And the final scene is of Moff Gideon, looking every bit a scary big bad boss. He's informed that a tracking beacon has been planted on the Razor Crest by one of the Navarro repairmen. This was a really great episode, really great story. For once, it seemed like the Mandalorian wasn't being led along. He actually made a choice to help. His help was desperately needed. Mando didn't seem so much like a passenger in his own story this time. I also enjoyed seeing more of Cara and Greef. I felt like they really add to the story. They're interesting characters. They're fun to watch. The three of them together is a team I can truly get behind. And finally, we're starting to see the storylines come together, which is something we had been waiting for, but we didn't get much of in the earlier filler episodes. All in all, this was for me the best episode of the season, and probably one of the best episodes of the series so far. But hey, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.